clusters of houses here and there, both inland and by the coast, are classified as towns. There are around 130,000 people living in Reykjavik. The total population of this 103,000 square kilometer island is around 394,000. Two-thirds of the nation live here in the Reykjavik area. Reykjavik means Smoky Bay. When the settlers, the Vikings, arrived from Norway, they were not familiar with hot water in the ground. When they were sailing along the south shore and trying to decide where to settle, they thought they were looking at steam, at smoke from a distance, not steam. But when they found out it was steam and not smoke, they still kept talking about Reykjavik, Reykjavik meaning smoke. We have smoky rivers, smoky valleys, smoky springs, smoky bay, smoky mountain. We have all kinds of smoky areas. Those are all areas with hot water underneath in that ground. And the first stop at Friðemar is in an area called Reykholt, Smoky Hill. That's a warm winter day. It should be rather warm, a little bit windy in places, but not terribly cold. I have to warn you that there might be ice sheets in many places, so when you step off the boat, please be careful. And when you're walking around the areas also, please mind your step and be safe. The reason we have hot water in the ground in Iceland is because of the tectonic plates. And they are sliding apart, and when that happens, cracks appear in the middle. It makes it easy for the lava underneath to come up close to the surface, or even to the surface, and then we have volcanic activity. The rain and the meltwater also trickles into the ground from above, meets with the hot lava underneath. That's why we have hot water, and we use that water to heat our houses for washing and bathing and so on. And therefore we enjoy minimal pollution, as we do not need fossil fuels to heat our houses. So we have two fishing rivers within the city limits, salmon fishing rivers, and they both have edible fish because of the minimal pollution. Now one of these rivers is appearing here to our left hand side, and maybe you can see it also to the right, but it's tricky in the darkness, so you cannot see it to the right hand side. The mayor gets to do the first catch in June, then we can buy permits if we so desire and go fishing. In the summertime, that is, only. Area both summer and winter. People like to ride bikes around the lake, walk, jog, walk the dog, and in the winter time we see horses around us. People riding horses. We have stables close by. Those who own horses, they take them to the stables in the winter time. Enjoy riding them until May, when the horses are let out on the pasture again. It's actually mandatory by law to allow the horses to roam free for at least 8 weeks. Lighten up. Well, it's forbidden after January 6th to light the fireworks. It's only allowed between December 27th and January 6th, unless you get a special permission from the police. But you know, people in Iceland, we like our fireworks, and in New Year's Eve we buy a godly amount of fireworks. Some people like to keep it for a while, and if they have birthday, you know, light a few fireworks, and then the neighbors get very upset and call the police and everything, and you know, it's an ongoing story in Iceland. And on the internet last night, people in my neighborhood, they were constantly complaining because people are still giving us a little private fireworks show. So don't be surprised to be here and see fireworks on and off while you're staying in Iceland. We have old manuscripts dating back to 1100s. And those manuscripts tell us about the settlement of Iceland, the story of Norwegian kings, tell us about the Nordic mythology the settlers believed in when they arrived, and a few other things. In the manuscripts telling us about the settlement of Iceland, there are mentioned few Irish monks that have been staying in Iceland. And we know that there is an area in the south where the Vikings did not settle. And that's an area where there are many caves identical to the ones found in Ireland. And we have found evidence on the east coast that there might have been a settlement before the Vikings came. There is now an excavation in progress where they have found remains of farm animals, and farm animals of course indicate settlement. And recent gene pool research has told us that there must have been more than just few monks from Ireland in Iceland when the Vikings arrived. We know that the Vikings, they did not always go straight between Iceland and Norway. They sometimes stopped by at Ireland and the British Isles to find themselves slaves and women. But we still think that the number of people would not have been enough. So there must have been some Irish people here before that had families. At least that's what we are guessing. By the seaside. And people now when they stayed in Iceland. And there were people sent around to scout for a good location. It was decided that secretly for settlement. In the Rift Valley between the plates, close to the North American tectonic plate, there are flat grassy fields where there was was a very powerful man, and his task was to recite the law at every parliament session. And the parliament sessions, they were not just parliament sessions. This was the biggest party of the year. This is where everybody wanted to be, and people wanted to come to sell their goods and trade their goods, friends and marriage, husband and wife, and simply party and wrestling. On the way home, the chiefs held road assemblies. That was done to introduce new blood to the people out in the countryside. I haven't seen any water eruption yet from Strákur, so maybe he's a little bit lazy today. We will see. We are getting very close to the geyser area, and we leave again from geyser at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock departure from geyser. We like to brighten the long winter nights a little bit. That's why they stay up until February. It's not the winter, not just because we're lazy, it's because of the darkness. But the days are getting longer now, so everybody's looking forward to summer again. Hoping we will get a decent summer. On the way to Reykjavik, ladies and gentlemen, I will let you rest, wake you up when you get back to the city. Thank you.
Don't know how to rhyme, but damn, we try. But all I really know, you're where I wanna go. The part of me that you will never die. So when I'm all choked up, but I can't find the words, and every time.
For rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, yeah, 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 yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, 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 yeah. Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, yeah, 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 yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, 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 yeah. For rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, yeah, 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 yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, 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 yeah. Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, yeah, 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 yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, 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 yeah.